So, I just want to tell you what I just did today. I forgot to videotape this and did it. I bought one of these cheap vacuum cleaners on Amazon. It's car vacuum, but you put this in a power supply, which I have one upstairs. I had to bring it down sometime this week, and we can do some solder with this. But when I tried out the vacuum today, this thing sucks up really good. I heard the hiss inside of it, and I blew on the pipe, part of the pipe here. So, I think I'm going to put this out there on YouTube for all around the world. It's one of those um, desolder type air irons from China. And these go for like $30. But if you guys, I'm talking guys and girls out there, or men and women out there, if you get one of these, if this thing actually does not work, what you gotta do is make one of these. It's a really cool idea. I forgot to do it. Hold on a minute. Go back to it. Okay. I'm just telling you, if you're gonna do this idea, yeah. And the way I did this, this is just one of those water drinking pipe things. You know what those are? Like you get the ones in the water drinking things. And that's what you do. And that's what I took one of these tubing. You can get this tube pretty short at any hardware store, but if you have one of those drinking water pack things, use this. I didn't put any glue inside the tubing. I just used one of these metal things. I cut about this short around that edge. Just need about that short. Then you stick this inside of it. You have to find a way to tug it in there, and that's what you do it. And also the spring is still inside of this thing. I took the metal spring out for this one right here. Yeah, I took that out of the thing. As long as you don't press the button, you're okay. The only way it heats up, it'll heat up automatically. You have to have one of those international power supplies like these. A Sherman. But it's usually called, yeah, a Sherman, that's what it is. You need one of those. And the plug will go inside for the solder iron. For this guy, you need a power supply for this to run this on 12 volts. It will not work on the plug for these little tiny things, but you can still attach this to any vacuum cleaner. So the solder will suck it up to go inside, and usually it'll go right in here. And you take this apart when you clip this off here and throw it around. But I got one of these vacuum cleaners for $9 on Amazon, and I'll show you what it looks like here. So this is the specs of the vacuum cleaner. You guys can take a look. That's what it is, what I'm using. Crazy Globe. I think crazyglobe.com. You can look that up. That's the vacuum cleaner. It actually can use water, and also it can be dry too. So that's great. It's waterproof too. And that's what I'm saying. But it's really quite good the way I am. And it's perfect. 96 watts of power. It's not that bad. So I bought this because it's got a bag with it. So the cool thing, you can use one of these, you can use a long thing, but the way I went with it, also I got a filter with this too. So you can put all the stuff in the bag. The cool thing, at least, this thing is portable. And I'll show you where you get the lid for this. What you do for this lid, you just glue this thing on the bottom of this. I'll show you in a second. Make sure you look for one of these T's. If you find one of these at the store and has a cap like this, you're okay. And I'll show you how you get that, way you get it. What you gotta do is drill this in the middle and put the other little tubing right there, just like I did here. I'll show you. You see how I did that? And the way you gotta do it is put a lot of gluing the way it is. See all the glue I put around? You just have to glue around all the edges down the way, and your thing will be quite good. As long as you don't take it out in the weather. Then you stick this little thing back in the pipe. But you can actually remove this slowly. You can just grab it on the side, not on the cap. You can just do it like this. Slowly just wiggle it. Slowly, and it'll come right out. And that's all you need, something like a tubing pipe, and it'll go right in there. See? That's how you do it. It's very perfect. It'll suck everything inside of it. The velocity it goes. But I'll put it back in a second. Just sorry about holding this camera, because my other camera died on its battery. So I had to try to get this out there for people who had ideas. But once I get this guy working again, but I tried it today to see if it was working. So the vacuum does suck quite good, because I can hear the hissing. So it should be able to suck solder no problem. When you push down it, it's in a very small vacuum cleaner, but this should be able to do. You can always hook it up to a really powerful vacuum later on. If you want something really stronger, you can always go higher. So if your things does break down, your little solder iron, your desolder, if it does actually, one of these cheap Chinese solder, I'm saying your desolder type machine thing, these for like $30. They actually have a second version. I've seen a black version, but this is a blue version I got a while back. And if you do find one of these, and if it stops working, the press button stops working, clicking, if it stops working, and if it doesn't, and if it actually burns up in here, and if your thing still works, the element, which in my element is still working, the heating and everything, if this burns up the injection thing, you can try this another way. And the way you gotta do this, just drill a hole in it, make it out that size. The solder will not go through that, it'll go right through the pipe, and that's how it does. At least this one can suck up water, and it can suck up dryness, so just get one of those. The cool thing about this, you can always use this for this homemade desolder suck gun. You can use it as an air gun if you want. If you want to have one of those vacuums, one of those dry vacuum cleaners, you can actually do, but the solder will not be able to find it. You can actually use an hot air gun if you want to blow things out either way. But if you want to use this for, like when I'm doing a desolder sucker, it'll suck all the solder on this once I do this. But when I've been doing it for months, I've been using the heat gun to melt it all in there, and using one of those tubes right there. I know it's kind of hard, but yeah, it's been doing quite good. But if you get this, if this thing burns up, tell me, all the people who owns one of these, you have a second option. Just get some tubing and get a vacuum cleaner, and the way you gotta get that little tubing, just get that green thing like I told you, this thing here, just saw it off some pieces of it, and you don't have to glue this at all. You just have to stick the tubing on the inside of this. Then the way you interested part of it, just put it inside the element inside of it. You can stick it up like that, make sure it lines up, and when you tighten this up, you'll be able to line it up, and once you get it perfect. And if you suck on your vacuum cleaner, if it does suck on your hand, means it'll work. Now if you blow the air out, if you blow the air out, if it blows air out, means it'll suck, so it'll actually work. So I just want to get that out there to all the YouTube landers out there, to give you a cool idea. So if anybody wants to have this idea out there, I'll send this video out to the people who have one of these, and they will actually learn how to build one for yourself. It's only a $9 vacuum cleaner. Sometimes they go at least 15 to 20. And all you just need any vacuum cleaner to put something like this, and it'll be perfect. But I'll have to try it a little bit later on for the heat element soon. But I had got it fixed during today. I've been waiting to do that, and it took me about 2 hours at least to get it all completed. I had to did all the alignments and all that, but you don't have to put glue inside of it. You could put glue in that right there, and you have to put that little green thing in there, like I said. Line it up with that hole once you do it, and just make sure you put the spring back in there. You'll be okay. And you have to tighten this black thing right here. When you put it like that and you get it lined up, you're okay. And you have a perfect solder iron for life. The good thing, you can always take it apart, and re-clean the tubes. That's why I did it that way. So, just hope everybody likes this idea. Give me a shout back. Give me a comment. And let me know if you guys tried it out. If you're a Chinese desolder iron, if you got one of these blue ones, if it does actually, if it does, the air compressor burns out, you can use it as one of these. And long the heat element works on your solder on this iron here, it'd be good. You could always use it two ways you want. If the heat element doesn't work, you could always use a heat gun like here and use this to suck it up the solder, or just use your solder iron to do it like other people do. So you guys have a wonderful day and have a great evening, and shout out there. Let me know if you guys have ideas out there for your homemade solder desolder type irons out there. I know a guy on YouTube actually has a video out there. He did something like a similar one, but his was a Radio Shack type desolder sucker with the pump, with a squeeze hand pump. But he did one with a giant vacuum cleaner with an air compressor. So I did it with a car vacuum, which has enough suction power to do it. But you can always go higher with these things if you want. So have a wonderful week, and catch y'all girls and guys later, and women out there and men too. I will post another video of reels sometime soon when I have some time. Once I'll show a demonstration how this thing works. But I'll just let you know it actually does work, and let you know. So I test it. So I just want to let you know all about that. Thanks.